Remember waking up on a Saturday morning in the 80s, 90s, or early 2000s, turning on cartoons and pouring yourself a big bowl of your favorite cereal? For many of us, cereal wasn't just breakfast. It was a childhood ritual, packed with sugar, colorful marshmallows, and mascots that lived rent-free in our heads. But here's the sad part, some of those beloved cereals don't exist anymore. In this video, we're retaking you on a nostalgic journey back to the days when cereal boxes doubled as treasure chests with toys inside, and when brands weren't afraid to experiment with flavors that were sometimes a little too wild. From fruit-flavored classics to candy-inspired experiments, we'll look at some of the discontinued breakfast cereals we desperately want back. And trust me, by the end you'll be craving a trip to the past, spoon in hand. 1. French Toast Crunch. Launched in the 1990s by General Mills, French Toast Crunch was everything kids dreamed of. Tiny little pieces shaped like slices of French toast, coated with cinnamon and sugar. Not only did it taste amazing, but the bite-sized toast made it a fun visual experience. The cereal became insanely popular, but by the mid-2000s, it quietly disappeared from shelves in the U.S. due to declining sales. Fans weren't happy, and petitions flooded the internet begging for its return. In 2014, General Mills finally listened, reintroducing French Toast Crunch, but not in every market. For many, it never felt quite the same. Some swore the taste was slightly different, and the nostalgia factor couldn't be replicated. Today, it's a symbol of how much people loved unique cereal experiences, and honestly, who wouldn't want a bowl of tiny French toast pieces swimming in cold milk again? 2. Oreo O's in 1997. Post and Nabisco created one of the most iconic cereals of all time. Oreo O's, imagine everything you love about Oreo cookies, transformed into crunchy, chocolatey cereal rings coated with sugar. Kids loved it, adults secretly loved it. The best part? When you finished your bowl, the milk turned into Oreo-flavored sweetness, basically dessert for breakfast. But in 2007, Oreo O's were discontinued in the U.S. due to a licensing dispute between Post and Kraft. For nearly a decade, fans could only dream of having them again unless you lived in South Korea, where the cereal continued to exist. In 2017, Oreo O's finally made a comeback. But with a catch, not every version matched the original flavor, and the marshmallow-packed version never returned. To this day, people still debate if the real Oreo O's are truly gone forever. 3. Rice Krispies Treat Cereal. This wasn't just cereal, this was childhood in a box. Launched in 1993, Rice Krispies Treat cereal took the gooey, marshmallowy goodness of the homemade treat and shrunk it into bite-sized chunks. Unlike traditional Rice Krispies, these clusters were coated in marshmallow and sugar, delivering a crunch that was insanely addictive. Parents may have winced at the sugar content, but kids loved every spoonful. By the late 2010s, Kellogg's discontinued it, leaving fans devastated. It wasn't just cereal, it was an experience. People even tried recreating it at home by smashing Rice Krispies treats into bowls of milk, but it just wasn't the same. Rice Krispies Treat cereal is one of those products that truly deserves a comeback. Imagine kids today discovering that sweet, sticky magic first thing in the morning. 4. Reese's Puffs variations. Now, Reese's Puffs cereal still exists today. But here's the thing. In the 2000s, there were variations that disappeared way too soon. There was the Reese's Puffs cereal with marshmallows, the limited edition shapes, and even seasonal tie-ins that gave the cereal an extra punch of fun. The marshmallow version especially stood out. Not only did you get the chocolate and peanut butter crunch, but you also had sweet little puffs of gooey marshmallows to balance it out. For some reason, these variations vanished. The core Reese's Puffs survived, but many fans still wish the enhanced versions would come back. After all, breakfast is supposed to be exciting, and Reese's Puffs marshmallows had that extra sugar rush kids lived for. 5. Cinnamon Mini Buns. In the early 90s, Kellogg's launched Cinnamon Mini Buns, a cereal designed to look and taste like tiny cinnamon rolls. Each bite was packed with cinnamon and sugar, and the cereal promised to taste like real cinnamon buns. Kids loved the novelty of eating mini cinnamon rolls for breakfast. It was fun, it was tasty, and it smelled incredible when you poured milk over it. But despite its unique concept, cinnamon mini buns disappeared from shelves within a few years. Fans still talk about it online, and many argue that no cereal since has captured the same magic. Some claim Kellogg's rebranded it into later products, but it was never the same. This is one cereal that would instantly sell out if it ever made a comeback. 6. Sprinkle Spangles, launched in 1993. Sprinkle Spangles was a General Mills cereal shaped like little stars covered in colorful candy sprinkles. Its mascot was a genie who promised kids, "You wish it, I dish it." The cereal was basically sugar on top of sugar, which explains why kids loved it so much. Each spoonful looked like a party in a bowl, with rainbow sprinkles that made breakfast feel like dessert. But as the health-conscious wave of the late 90s hit, Sprinkle Spangles was discontinued. Parents were concerned about sugar, and cereal companies began to tone things down. Still, for those who grew up with Sprinkle Spangles, it represents the wild creativity of 90s cereals, colorful, magical, and way more fun than a boring bran flake. 7. Waffle Crisp. If you wanted waffles for breakfast but didn't have time, Waffle Crisp was the answer. Introduced in 1996, the cereal was shaped like tiny waffles and packed with maple syrup flavor. The commercials featured quirky grannies baking mini waffles, which made the cereal even more memorable. And the taste. Pure Saturday morning joy. Sadly, Waffle Crisp was discontinued in 2018. It briefly made a limited return in 2021, but it never fully came back nationwide. Fans continued to beg Post to revive it permanently. Imagine pairing Waffle Crisp with a Rio plate of waffles. It's double the nostalgia we all missing. 8. Honeycomb's big flavor changes. Honeycomb itself still exists, but in the 2000s, it went through major recipe and flavor changes that fans didn't love. For a while, it tasted different, less sweet, and the texture changed too. Some even say the real honeycomb cereal from the 80s and 90s is gone forever. Fans still ask Post to bring back the original recipe, the one that made honeycomb taste like childhood. It's a reminder that sometimes companies try to improve a classic, but in reality they take away what made it special. 9. S'more cereal. Launched by Kellogg's in 2003, s'more cereal was basically a s'more in a bowl. Chocolate cereal squares, marshmallow bits, and graham pieces combined to taste like camping fun without the fire. Kids adored it, but health critics slammed it for being almost as sugary as candy. It was discontinued, brought back, and then discontinued again in 2019. S'more cereal is one of those products fans constantly ask Kellogg's to bring back permanently. After all, who wouldn't want to start their morning with a campfire classic? 10. Mr. T cereal. Other celebrity tie-ins. Back in the 80s and 90s, celebrity tie-in cereals were huge. One of the most famous was Mr. T cereal, made of sweetened corn and oats shaped like the letter T. It wasn't just about the cereal, it was about the character, the box, and the fun of eating something connected to pop culture. By the 2000s, most of these tie-in cereals disappeared. Today, they remembered as a time when breakfast was as much about fun branding as it was about taste. Fans still talk about them, and collectors even keep old boxes as memorabilia. Breakfast cereals weren't just food, they were culture. They shaped our mornings, gave us energy and sugar rushes, and created memories tied to Saturday cartoons and family kitchens. The cereals we've talked about, from French Toast Crunch to Waffle Crisp and Sprinkle Spangles, remind us of a time when food companies weren't afraid to experiment, to create magic in a box, and to make breakfast the most exciting meal of the day. While many of these cereals are long gone, the nostalgia remains, and who knows? With enough fan demand, maybe some of them will make a comeback. So tell us, which discontinued cereal do you wish would return? Drop your favorite in the comments below. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and join us as we continue exploring the foods that shaped our past.